Bucky, let me ask you a quick follow-up here, because as a scout, how much stock do you put into there's been this term thrown around, it's some young hip lingo thing kids are using about aura, and there's some swagger, there's some it factor about Cade Klubnik.
Mhm.
He was there at rookie minicamp, and we're apparently garnering all of that off a 34-second slow motion video of him running out with the locks, and people said he looks a little Trevor Lawrence, a little Chad Pennington action. It's what people are seeing with the 10 jersey number. You put any stock in it factor, aura, some of that stuff that it's hard to sort of put into words on your scouting sheet?
Yeah, your quarterback has to have a little swag or aura to him, and that aura that you're alluding to is, does he feel like he's a winner? Does he do things to make everyone in the building feel like we're going to win? Does he change the temperature of the room? We talked about you can be a thermostat leader, that you change the temperature when you come into the room. And so Cade Klubnik is one of those guys. He does have that kind of personality. He does have an unshakable and an unwavering confidence in his abilities. Now, you have to play to that. You can't just be a guy who walks around with the swag, but then when it's time to perform, you drop duds. You have to play. But I think the confidence that you see from him is a guy who feels fairly certain that he's going to figure out how to play successfully at the NFL level. There are a lot of things, a lot of steps that he has to take before he's able to get there and be a major contributor. But I think, look, it's a solid pick in the 4th round. It is one of those where you want to see what he looks like when he has a chance to go against Brady Cook and all those other guys that are already in the fold.
Yeah, Aaron Glenn already said we're going to see him a ton in the preseason, so get ready for some preseason hype months ahead of time. Bucky, one more on this, and then we can move on. As a scout, was that the hardest thing to do? Because you could see the games, you could see the speed and the this and the that when you're looking at all the measurements, the combine numbers, pro day numbers, and things of that nature. Is that intangible quality of trying to figure out whether someone has it or not, when you get to go to pro days and you get to go through the whole process of being a scout and trying to ascertain that information from your sources around the league? Was that the most difficult thing as a scout for you and for any scout, to try to calculate that intangible when they report back to the team and submit those draft reports?
Yeah, and that's why I like the controversy that kind of took place at the draft or shortly after the draft when people talk about consensus boards and how that relates to teams. The number one thing that a scout has to be able to evaluate outside the normal talent, whether the guy can play in the league, and the core values in terms of what are the football character traits that he exhibits. The number one thing that you're looking for as a scout is, how does he fit in our scheme and within our culture? Does his game fit what we ask our guys to do at his position? Does he have those skills that translate well to being able to play in our system, in our scheme? Secondly, how does he fit in our locker room? So if we, for instance, let's just say the Jets have prided themselves in having a blue collar type team, like hard head lunch bill, guys that come to work, guys that don't take plays off, guys that do extra. That's kind of the expectation around the building. Where your job as a scout is to make sure that that is a part of who he is, that he's not a guy that's the last one in, first one out, that it's in reverse. He's the first one in, the last one out. Extra is his ordinary, and so he has extraordinary work habits in those things. All of that matters. And when we talk about Cade Klubnik and some of the other guys in this draft class, when you dig in their background, they do have that blue-collar feel that they're trying to create in New York, and it's one of the reasons why you should be optimistic about this class being a big part of the team turning it around at some point.